It is going to be exactly a week, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, since the two minor victims who've alleged rape against the Swami of the Muruga Mutt, Shivamurthy Sharana, came forth with their allegations. So far, there has been no attempt by the police to confront the seer, leave alone arrest him. Now, POCSO is a very serious charge, and for Section 6, which is rape, you cannot even apply for anticipatory bail. There is no pre-arrest bail. What the police are doing right now is dragging their feet despite the public outrage in Karnataka. What exactly are the police afraid of? And why hasn't a single political party, not BJP, not Congress, not JDS, come forth and openly and unequivocally taken the side of the victims? Why are the police and political parties so afraid of saying anything or doing anything against this seer? Or is he above the law of this land? But first, the story.
Anger is growing against prominent Lingayat seer, Shivamurthy Muruga Sharana. The DC Chitradurga was gherao today by furious protesters. Meanwhile, a Karnataka court today adjourned hearing till tomorrow in the anticipatory bail plea filed by the seer, as the public prosecutor sought more time from the court to file objections to the pre-arrest bail plea.
We are lawyers appearing for the petition. Bail application has been filed. We are following only legal proceedings. We are, as per 156 class 2, nobody is having power to interfere in the investigation.
The two complainants were also produced in court today, and the NCPCR has asked the cops to conduct an inquiry into the matter and ensure that the victims' identities are not disclosed. On the political front, all parties seem to be on the same page, with netas rallying around the accused seer and even paying visits to him. First, it was BJP MLA Thippa Reddy who met accused Swami on Tuesday. And then yesterday, JDS leader Virendra Papi visited the seer in his mutt. Even Congress has maintained silence on the issue. In fact, former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has already given a clean chit, calling the charges fabricated.
Swamiji already expressed that is some vested interest. These all false allegations have been made. It is all, everything will come out, only proper investigation.
At the crux of this backing to the Swami are the Lingayat votes that determine the election outcomes in 90 to 100 seats in the state. In the 2018 elections, nearly 60 of the 224 MLAs were from Lingayat community. In fact, the current Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai and 8 of his ministers hail from the same community. Not just that, religious mutts in Karnataka play a significant role in state's political space. It's seen that when the state is either faced with elections or in a political crisis, the mutts get active, with visits from leaders from across political parties. With all leaders being quiet on the issue, the big question remains, is vote bank a bigger priority than justice for our political parties?
All right, on the program this evening, we're joined by Ajay Gautam, founder of Hum Hindu. Rahul Ishwar is author and activist. We'll be joined in a moment by KV Stanley, who's the founder secretary of Odana DNGP, which is the NGO which helped these victims register their complaint in the first place. And Nikhil Joshi is editor of News18 Kannada. Rahul Ishwar, let me start with you. The sections that have been applied in the complaint, Section 6 of POCSO, whether it's 376(2), rape of IPC, these are very, very serious charges. Tomorrow is going to be exactly a week since these two minor victims came forth and lodged their complaint, and let alone confronting or arresting this seer, the police have not even called him for a proper round of questioning. Why is he so powerful?
2 points. One, he is powerful because he's a good man and not because he's a god man. He has a proven credential and track record which nearly everyone accepts beyond political spectrum. Only submission is this. We have seen considerable misuse of POCSO and many women-related laws. For example, Delhi Justice Prasad of Delhi High Court 2021 said there is an alarming increase in the rate of fake rape cases. Even just 2 months back, Ramachandra Tiwari of Kendriya Vidyalaya was in jail for 7 years. After 7 years, court found out that the girl was neither raped, nor was she pregnant, or nor was there an abortion. It was widely reported too. So only thing, as great admirers of the Swamiji and the Lingayat sect, we are urging caution. We want a thorough investigation. Let the truth come out.
But
at the same point of time,
Rahul, now please tell me, are you first of all casting aspersions on the victims who've come forth? Secondly,
No,
all of this
no,
is a
people
matter
who
of
are behind them.
investigation. Let the
People who are
police
behind them.
investigate. All that people are saying is, why are the police not investigating? Why are they going slow on this investigation? If Rahul Ishwar or Zaka Jacob were the accused persons, you think the police would have waited 6 days to proceed with any action?
Yeah, there may be ground realities of pressure. I'm not denying that. But the only submission is nobody is casting aspersion on those girls. But we are suspectful about one person who are using them. We are suspecting that whether these children are tutored. We are suspecting that after many years, this particular person who wanted to take revenge on the Swamiji is using this. He was an ex-politician. Everyone knows there is a counter complaint against him. That also should be investigated. So we are only afraid whether some people are using children to tutor them. To
Fair
create
point.
a
Let me ask that to KV Stanley. He's the founder of Odanadi NGO. In fact, they're the NGO who helped these two minor girls actually in the first place register their complaint. So can you please answer the questions and doubts that Rahul Ishwar has raised? He says there was some kind of personal enmity that was happening between this gentleman and somebody else within the mutt. His fear is that that person is using this to get back at the Swamiji. Number two, there have been instances where children, where women have been used for lodging false cases against people who are eminent personalities. So please clear all those doubts, Mr. Stanley.
Yes, good evening. See, these are the issues cropped up after the issue is raised. These are the internal issues. We are not aware of it, and we are also not bothered about it, because for me, the children's issue is the utmost important. When the children are brought here, and children wanted to talk to an organization, we need to give a patient hearing. That's what needed. That's what we did. And when after understanding the whole issue and the depth of this issue of exploitation sexually, then we have to that attracts POCSO. It doesn't attract the internal issues of the motive or the administrative issues of that place. This should not be the excuse to deny justice to the exploited children. See, this is quite inhuman. The children are not used. And because I am 32 years experienced person in this field, dealing with children and women, and they came trusting this organization. They trust they get the legal and social justice. And when we heard the issues of these two young girls, they are 15 years old children. You have to believe that. You cannot suspect those children. And POCSO, what POCSO expects from professionals. You have to be patiently, hearing these children. Then later you have to give this case to CWC immediately within 24 hours. We don't have any right to investigate into this. For me, the issue of children and the sexual exploitation of these minor girls is very, very important than the administrative issues of the mutt.
Okay, let me ask Nikhil Joshi. So then what exactly is, because the political argument that's being made, Nikhil, is that this is too close to the election. This Swamiji is very influential with the Lingayat community. Lingayats, of course, are a very important voting bloc for all parties. Why is it that no political party, BJP, Congress, JDS, no one has come forth and said that at least let the investigation happen? These are serious charges. Two young minor girls have come forth as the complainants. At least let there be a thorough investigation. Nikhil.
Zaka, this is the most pertinent and the necessary question that had to be asked. How is vote bank politics about justice? And should justice depend on the aggrieved, or should it depend on the person who has caused this trouble in the first place? Should it depend on the accused and how influential he or she is? Is justice going to be delivered in this country based on the credentials and the stature and the influence of the accused? Is that what we are trying to say here? It could be the election year. Recently, it was Mr. D.K. Shivkumar and Rahul Gandhi who visited the Muruga Mutt in Chitradurga during Siddharamotsava in Davangere. We know that the Lingayat per se as a bloc supports the BJP and is a huge backbone as a voting population for the BJP's electoral prospects. But does that take away the rights of a girl from getting justice? The girls say that they were subjected to this treatment between Jan 1st, 2021 and June 2022 when they moved out of the hostel. There are a few gaps here. There are a few gaps that need to be filled, and these are questions that need to be answered, Zaka. One is July 24th, they leave Chitradurga, they come to Bangalore, they try to lodge a complaint. They were not able to. Please, somebody answer this question as to why an IPC 201 should not be lodged against these police officers, both in Chitradurga and in Bangalore, for not registering this complaint that the girls gave out. IPC 201, I say. And then in the POCSO case, that the sections that have been invoked, Zaka, please carefully look at it. It is section 17. You know what section 17 stands for? Abatement. Why isn't a section 2, 4, 14, 15 or a 17 added here which deals with direct sexual assault? That hasn't been done. Why hasn't it been done? This is where the intention becomes suspect. Because if there is a day when this case would come up in the court should find it easy to grant bail. Now there is a case against a case. There is a case against Muruga Seer, and then there is a case against one Mr. Basavarajan, who's now being identified as a former administrator. My question again, when the girls were in Cottonpet police station in Bangalore, why did they choose to call Mr. Basavarajan, and how did Basavarajan reach here in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., I'm told, to take these girls away? What happened between July 24th and August 26th? When the complaint was actually registered at a police station in Mysore, Nazarbad police station, with the help of Vadanadi. Stanley has just told you more about it. There are many questions, but the bigger one is, why isn't the state being fast enough in this particular case? Like you very rightly said, Zaka, if a Zaka or a Nikhil was accused, would this be the same process of law? Again, I ask, should justice depend on the influence of the accused?
Absolutely. The law is the same for all, whoever the accused person be. If he or she has been charged, and that too under stringent provisions of POCSO, then the least the police should do is confront him, interrogate him, question him, and if they are not convinced with the replies that have been received, then definitely go ahead and arrest him. And the worst part, Ajay Gautamji, is it's been 6 days. The accusation from the girls is that all of this happened inside the mutt. And for the last 6 days, the police have not even gone inside the mutt to collect evidence. So if this person is influential as he is, then, and he is inside the mutt, the first thing he will do is to destroy the evidence.
Jaka, I am the witness of the many of the cases where the POCSO and the female related section has been used as a weapon to settle the personal score and for the personal vendetta. Issue is that one of my friend who is a Mahant in a Rajghat Gaushala has been booked under the POCSO. And when the Honorable Delhi High Court appointed a commission which investigate and inquired about that particular children, then children has revealed he has been threatened to make these kind of allegation against a particular person by a third party. So this is the ground reality. And when the Nirbhaya case has been reported, thereafter the Justice Verma committee has been constituted, along with the Justice Usha Mehra. On that time, the thousands of people made their submission that yes, the law which is related to the crime against the women and the crime against the children may be strong. But we don't know that then time this law which is in the pipeline to become more stronger, it has been misused. Very widely.
Misuse of a law. Ajayji, you are also a qualified lawyer. Misuse of a law cannot be an excuse for non-application of the law. In this case, the law is not being applied. The investigation is not being carried forward in the forthright manner. All laws can be misused. 302 bhi misuse hota hai.
Yes. No, issue is that in the judgment of the Bhajan Lal, which is a very non-judgment, what the Supreme Court said. Supreme Court said that we cannot direct to the investigation authorities how can they investigate a matter. It depends upon the investigation agencies. Yes, they will intervene if the personal liberty of anyone, either the accused or the victims, the
Sir,
personal liberty.
आपको भी पता है, मुझे भी पता है, everybody on this panel knows, if the police so choose, and not just in Karnataka, across this country, any state police, if they so choose to act on such a heinous charge that has been brought forth against whoever that person is, X, Y, Z, then the first thing they would do is to confront that person and with non-cooperation, then arrest that person.
Absolutely.
Here, something extraordinary is happening, Rahul Ishwar, that for 6 days, yeah, Nikhil wanted to make a point. Yeah, Nikhil, for 6 days, nothing has happened.
No. I have 2 points. One is to Rahul Ishwar and the other is to Mr. Ajay. Rahul Ishwar is going on to say that there is a track record of this man and he's done so much good for the society and state. I don't remember the law of this country being of something like, oh, you save 10 lives, you get to kill one, that's okay. That's not how the law works. He may have been a good man in the past. Now it is time to prove his goodness. He should comply with the law and cooperate with the investigating agencies, not flex his muscles through politicians and political parties. That is point number 1. Mr. Ajay is telling, Mr. Ajay comes out and says there's misuse of law and then it's a matter of investigation. Ajay ji, in my limited understanding, I want to ask you, how can the investigation begin without asking the relevant, basic, necessary questions to accused number 1? You are calling and summoning accused number 2, who is Rashmi, who is the warden at the hostel, but you will still not question accused number 1. I mean, how should the people of the state understand this? What is the perception that the state is trying to give? Here we are talking about 3 agencies.
Ajay ji, आपको भी पता है, like I said, you are a qualified legal student. Accused number 1 को तो बुलाना चाहिए, कम से कम पूछताछ तो कीजिए.
Therefore, but they have a proper sufficient evidence. Then, therefore, they have to call the accused. That is not if somebody file a registered FIR.
In POCSO case, the statement of the victim is evidence enough, sir.
Yes.
In POCSO case, the statement of the victim is evidence enough, sir. That's where it starts.
I agree, sir. I agree, but this is not I am not saying anyone is exempted from the law. Law of the land is supreme. No one is exempted from the prosecution. I am agree. But the now issue is that when the police has the sufficient time.
Sir, please tell me, does the process of law depends on the color of clothes I wear, the bank balance I have, or the achievements that I have on my credentials? Does this decide the process of law in this country, Ajay ji? Please help me understand. क्या आपको लगता है कि मैं कौन सा रंग का कपड़ा पहन रहा हूं और मेरे बैंक में कितना बैलेंस है और मैं समाज में क्या-क्या काम किया हूं? Will this decide the process of law? The process of law is the same.
इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, but the prosecution has been satisfied themselves कि they have a sufficient evidence, they have a proper CFSL report, they have a proper medical report to arrest someone. This is not, I am not saying somebody is exempted because he is a good man or he is a god man. I am not saying this. I am just touching a different part of this. Until and unless police has at least minimum evidence and minimum supporting evidence, CFSL report and other reports which are
okay. No, Rahul Ishwar. No. One second. All of us are aware of how the law works and what the investigation procedure is. No, एक second, Ajay ji, एक second. Rahul Ishwar, the point is, there is an accused person. These are grave charges. These are not ordinary provisions of the law. These are grave provisions. There is an accused person. First of all, they are not calling whoever accused number 1 is. Number 2, the process of investigation and evidence collection happens after basic questioning happens. That basic questioning has also not happened of this year. You call him, interrogate him. If he is not cooperative, then go ahead with arrest. The evidence collection happens through the course of the investigation. And even for that evidence collection, not once have they gone inside the mutt to these rooms and to this hostel where the girls have alleged that this sexual assault happened. It happened for a period of a year and a half. Now, clearly that means that the application of the law, the way the law has been applied in this case, seems to be different because the seer seems to be an influential gentleman, Rahul Ishwar. That's why, it's as simple as that.
Sakaji, I concede that point that there should be thorough investigation. No, even I am a very strong supporter of the Lingayat community, but we all know regarding the political leverages and how they work. But as devotees who have seen a lot of fake cases, the only submission is there should be due diligence. People should not be allowed to misuse POCSO law in such a way that people, whenever they even say genuine things in future, people will end up disbelieving it. Because we have seen a flurry of cases, especially in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and many parts of South India, regarding a lot of fake make cases, especially against the Madhadipatис, especially against people who are there, who are in the spiritual arena. None of us defended Swami Nityananda. Even we made fun of it. Even we made fun of the intensity and propensity jokes, absurdities that he have told. But this person is a different person. He's a person of a great standing and stature, which everyone respected. So we are also in a
Rahul, I'm sorry to say this, but even Franco Mulekil had a great stature before the allegations against him came forth, right? And then what happened? Right? In fact, the entire church was against the nuns who came out. Ultimately, it went to court and the court found the horrific stuff that Franco Mulekil had done. But anyway, that's a different case. I don't want to get into it.
Court exonerated him. See, I am no one to go beyond the court. Court at the end of the day said there was no allege of raping. So
let me go to Stanley as well, because Stanley, again, the questions that are being raised is now that there is this counter complaint. They are saying this entire thing is to defame the Swamiji. How do you respond to it? And I'm asking you this only because the girls approached your NGO and you are the ones who helped them file the complaint in the first place.
See, these counter complaints or the details happened inside the mud. All those things came after the children came here. See, we are staying away from hundreds of kilometers away from this area down in Mysore. And my first priority and my responsibility is to talk to the girls and understand the issue and using my wisdom and my expertise and experience. That's what we did.
Can you explain to our viewers, for viewers who are outside of Karnataka, this whole thing happened in a mutt in Chitradurga. Your NGO, you are based in Mysuru. It is what, about 100, 200 kilometers between Chitradurga and Mysuru? Why did they come to you? I mean,
because of the Odanadi's credentials, and we have that integrity, because it is a known organization in Karnataka, everyone knows about it, one thing. And we also handled a very influential case, very high profile case in Chitradurga long ago, maybe some 10, 12 years back. That's a very important case happened in Chitradurga. Everyone knows about it. So that keep it aside, people trust on this organization because we are working from 32 years. I'm the founder secretary. We started as a journalist. We started this organization for the dignity of girls and women, right?
So the girls approached you through whom? Like who did they approach you? I mean, obviously they had no way of knowing who you are or what you are because you were 200 kilometers away.
Zaka, obviously it is common sense. Children cannot come on their own.
Yes.
They come with some assistance.
Yes.
They come. Now, our own children also, they go somewhere to the school with assistance of the parents or the guardians. So it is needless to mention, they came with some people, and we have all the records, visual footages, everything here. But during the inquiry time, we will give to the investigating officer.
Okay, I'll give Nikhil the final word. I've got a minute to wrap up. Basically, this whole political question about the Lingayats and the government is afraid of the backlash of the Lingayats. Is there any truth to that? How much merit is there in that argument? And that's why perhaps the state is going slow against the Swami.
No. It's a fact that he is an influential Swami or a guru in the Lingayat community. It's a fact that he figures amongst the top 5 Lingayat mutts in the state. Mr. Rahul Ishwar, I'd like to ask you, they may have their own differences within the community between Lingayats and Veerashaivas. This is a Veerashaiva mutt, by the way, just FYI. But in any case, what I want to know is why aren't the top Gurujis or Swamijis of the Lingayat community coming out in his support? Where is the Suttur Mata's Swami Shivratri Deshikendra? Where is Mursavra Mata? Why is it Siddhganga Mata not talking about this? Symbolically, you had a few Dalit Swamijis and a few lesser known Lingayat Swamijis come and speak in favor of the Muruga Mutt Seer. Should we just go by that? And also, I would like to ask Mr. Stanley. Stanley, the prashna is, the gap between July 24th and August 26th, this gap is being used by your opponents to say that these girls were brainwashed. Are you being played, Mr. Stanley?
No.
You think?
No. See,
yeah.
I tell you, trust me. Trust my expertise and my commitment. I am committed to this cause. I will not give my shoulder to keep someone's gun on me and shooting to their opponents. I am quite have my intelligence and also my heart and mind is working properly. That is, I am making it very, very clear. See, thing is, we are wasting our time on some other issue. We are wasting our time on a religious and political issue. I don't want to politicize or give religious color to this issue at all. This is a purely children's issue, humanitarian issue. Children are there in everywhere. Every politician is having children. All communities are also having children. Children are our future. When they are giving their mental agony in front of you and their experience, the experiences in front of you, you just can't waste the time in inquiries or investigations. POCSO is the law. You are bound by it. I am bound by it. And we have to inform the authorities like CWC, first of all. And I am thinking about the status of this law in this land. Where, everyone is talking about
I'm afraid
this,
we're completely out of time. I want to thank all our guests. We'll see how the story plays out. As of now, like I said, it's going to be a week tomorrow. And so far, there's been no precipitative action by the Karnataka police. We'll leave it at that. I want to thank all our guests. I'm moving on to another story. And this is a big crackdown on terror by the government of Assam to a terror-linked madrasa. In fact, it's the third one that they've bulldozed in the last 1 week or so. Now, after that, the Uttar Pradesh government has issued instructions to all district magistrates to conduct a survey of all unrecognized madrasas by the 10th of September. The survey team will include the SDM, the BSA, the district minority officers. The AIMIM chief, Asduddin Owaisi, has slammed the BJP government for targeting and harassing Muslims unnecessarily. Meanwhile, Badruddin Ajmal of the AIUDF has launched a fresh salvo at the Assam government and said that he will move the Supreme Court over this demolition.
Government of Assam doesn't have any intention to go on demolishing madrasa. Our only intention is to see that madrasas are not used by any jihadi element. Once madrasa are not used for jihadi works or for the purpose of expanding jihadi ideology, then why there will be demolition? But if we got specific inputs on any madrasa, in the guise of madrasa, the institution is being used for expanding jihadi activity, anti-India activity, then we are going to take strongest possible action in each and every cases.
24 स्टाफ में एक आदमी कोई बुरे काम में पाता है तो उसके लिए आप मदरसों को तोड़ देंगे, बुलडोजर चला देंगे। आपको जिहादी मिला पकड़ के ले जाइए, एक मिलता 10 मिलता पकड़ के ले जाइए, हमारा कोई से नहीं है, हम आपके साथ में हैं। लेकिन मदरसों को तोड़ना इलीगल है। अगर वो डीसी साहब ने किया है वो भी इलीगल काम किया। अभी कुछ लोगों ने बताया, मैंने नहीं देखा, कि मुख्यमंत्री साहब ने साफ कहा मदरसा तोड़ने के बारे में हमने कुछ नहीं कहा। तो किसका इंटरेस्ट है, किसको पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट है मदरसों को तोड़ने का, इसलिए हम इसको चैलेंज करेंगे।
ये जो आदेश है इस वक्त की सर्वे करेंगे तमाम डीएमएसपी हर जिलों में गैर मान्यता प्राप्त मदरसों का, क्या है इस आदेश का मूल तत्व, क्या जरूरत पड़ गई इस तरह का एक निर्णय लेने की उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार को?
देखिए, योगी सरकार मुस्लिम नौजवानों के तरक्की के लिए लगातार ग्राउंड लेवल पे ठोस काम कर रही है। मदरसों में हमने एनसीईआरटी का कोर्स लागू किया, मदरसों को हमने डिजिटलाइज किया, मदरसे के पाठ्यक्रम को हम ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म पे ले आए, ऐप के माध्यम से मदरसे के पाठ्यक्रम को ले आए। हमने एनसीसी एनएसएस को मदरसे से कनेक्ट किया। हर कदम दर कदम हम अपने मुस्लिम युवाओं के विकास को सुनिश्चित कर रहे हैं। ऐसे मदरसों का भी जानकारी होना गवर्नमेंट के लिए इसलिए जरूरी है कि गवर्नमेंट कोई भी स्कीम्स निकालती है तो उसके पास एग्जैक्ट आंकड़ा होना चाहिए।
I'll start with what happened in Assam. Yesterday, the Assam government demolished another madrasa, this time in Bongaigaon district. It is the third madrasa in the state that was demolished by the government. The police are clearly saying that they have found links between these institutions and Al-Qaeda, the dreaded terror outfit. If these are being demolished for their links with terrorist organizations, then what is the problem, sir?
Now let me become very personal to Zaka Jacob. I hope you won't mind. This is just to make your viewers understand. If tomorrow any employee of CNN, IB, God forbid, has links with Al-Qaeda, should the government come and demolish your office? Please tell me, is that allowed? No, that is not allowed. You will suspend that person from your organization. You will tell the government, yes, go ahead, arrest him and get him convicted. But what right does the Assam government has to demolish a madrasa? If they have violated the municipal laws, give them notice. That is the basic demand of principles of natural justice. Hear them out. Give them some time. You become the judge and jury and you demolish a madrasa just because of one person arrested. Yes, we condemn any person who has links with any terrorist organization. But demolishing a madrasa, I was hearing a reporter while I was waiting for you to come.
Yes.
She has rightly pointed out that the people over there are worried about the madrasa being demolished.
The Assam police are saying that it was not just one individual. They believe, and of course this has to be proven or disproven in a court of law, but they believe they have evidence to show that the institution itself was being used for terrorist activities. Now you use the example, since you made it personal, I'm asking you, if an institution is being used, then should that institution be allowed to continue?
Listen to me. Even if the institution is involved, let us assume,
okay,
is alleged to be involved. You cannot say is involved. Alleged to be involved. That is the right word. If alleged to be involved, you protect that as evidence. You don't demolish it. Tomorrow when the case will come up in the court, I will tell as a prosecution, this is the proof. This is how they used to use it. You demolish the whole evidence. Why do you do that? Because you don't have evidence, or you want to protect the evidence?